All right, everyone, day 7 of week 16, the day after the half Ironman. Just wanted to quickly recap how I'm doing this morning. Everything is quite sore, but not that terrible. The only bad thing is my ankle. So I seem to have hurt my ankle. If you take a look, it's quite... So as you can see, it's quite swollen. And I just guess I pulled it a little bit at the end of the run there. It's not too horrible, probably should be good within the next week. So not too worried about that, but I was feeling pretty damn good this morning actually. Gonna be going out for brunch with some friends, and then we'll just make a little bit of a recap video on the whole experience really. And we'll be doing that in a few hours when I'm home. Hello everyone! We are finally back to our home here, and it's time to reflect on the whole journey. So first of all, I am actually going to be holding the camera in my hand because I seem to have lost my tripod. Not sure where that went, so I'm going to be holding in my hand here. First thing I'd like to do is just shout out to someone that's been watching all my videos, it turns out. I met someone at the start of the half Ironman competition. We were just lined up for the swims, and he came out to me, let me know that he's been watching my videos, that I've been inspiring him, which has been great to see. That was super exciting. So whoever you are, if you just leave a comment, mention how you did, how it went for you, that'll be awesome to see, and hopefully you keep on watching. So I just want to recap everything I kind of learned, what I didn't expect, what I did expect, and how the whole thing really felt. So to start off, let's start with the morning. So it starts super early in the morning. We caught the shuttle at 4:15 a.m., got to the event for about 5 a.m. And so at 5 a.m. there was lots of stuff where you have to drop off your last second things, basically at the bike transition, make sure everything's good, put on your wetsuit, and just overall get ready. A lot of people went to the washroom. I went to the washroom, just warmed up a little bit, stretched, and that was an hour and 15 minutes till 6:15 a.m. So 6:15 a.m. at this point. Then the pros kick off. They're starting first off at 6:30 a.m. And then the actual amateurs like me and everyone else were starting at 6:45 a.m. That was starting with the swim. And so the swim begins with different times, or your expected time to finish. So it started at like sub 27 minutes, I believe, for the swim, and then just moved on in around 3-minute increments. So I was expecting to finish between 40 to 43 minutes, so I was in that group of people. So that's how they broke it up, and that worked really well because there's basically no one passing people from the back for the most part, and that made the swim very smooth. So we started off with the swim there, 40 to 43 minutes. Turns out when we got into the water, I was swimming much faster than everyone, so I was actually passing lots of people, but I was swimming on top of them, hitting all sorts of people with my arms into their feet. I didn't realize I was gonna swim that much faster, and it just felt really nice. I was having a great time on the swim, felt really smooth, finished it in 41 minutes, and then after that I got out, felt really good, felt even better than when I was starting the swim. So got up, ran up, got to the bike transition area. Me and Kyle agreed that we were gonna do the bike and the swim together, so he was only 2 minutes slower. I waited for him to catch up to me there, and then we started the bike together. Then the bike was super interesting because I have never biked as quickly as I was trying to bike for this triathlon. Me and Kyle decided we're gonna try to go for around 20 miles an hour, finish this 57-mile bike ride in under 3 hours, and it was amazing. We just kept pushing ourselves. We didn't know how we were going to feel the run, but really just wanted to see what we could do on the bike, and we finished in 2 hours, 58 minutes. That was super awesome. We were really excited about that, and then the running began, and wow, during the running, what an experience. So I did not realize how much harder it is to run after biking and swimming. I was expecting the run to not be that bad. It was horrible. The first 6 miles were pretty brutal. They were very exhausting, but then the last 7 were just awful. Kyle was feeling really bad. We were together basically until the 6th mile, and then we decided to branch off. we were trying to decide whether I should stick with him or not. He wasn't feeling great. Decided to see what I can do. We decided to see what speed I could basically finish at. And so I went off, and the last 7 miles were brutal. It was really interesting because my mind was playing all sorts of tricks on me, trying to convince me that I should stop. I knew I wasn't gonna stop, but it was really interesting to see all the different ideas that my mind could come up with to tell me that it's probably okay to stop, you'll be fine. Why not just, take a break, just sit down. There's no need to finish. It's really interesting to see that. But I also had this really interesting thing, so during the run, I also remembered that the pros don't go to the washroom and they pee themselves. Now, I wanted to have the full Ironman experience and be like a pro, right? So I tried peeing myself during the run, and that was really something else. It just came out like a waterfall. It sounds kind of weird to talk about, but wow, peeing yourself while running. I haven't peed myself in years, and while running, it just comes out behind you, and I good thing I made sure there was no one behind me, because that would have been awful. Awful to get sprayed by, awful to see, but wow. Poor triathletes, they do that apparently on the bikes and the runs. That is kind of weird feeling. It's quite the experience. There was pee running down my leg and everything, but all part of the experience. And then the last mile, I felt all the energy come back to me, basically sprinted for the finish and finished the run in 2 hours and 18 minutes. Pretty slow for a half marathon, but you know what? Considering I biked and swam before, not too awful. So I finished the whole thing in 6 hours and 16 minutes and a few seconds. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, 6 hours, 16 minutes. I was honestly aiming for something around 7 hours. So that was a tremendous improvement over my goal. Feel really good about the fact that I could go that fast. That was pretty awesome. And after I finished, honestly felt really good. I was not like super exhausted. I didn't feel like I was gonna faint or like pass out or anything. I was definitely super tired, but I could still function. I still had a nice barbecue with my friends. It was pretty great. But all in all, the experience. So this was 16 weeks of training, which really weren't 16 weeks of training. I didn't actually train for about 6 weeks of it because I hurt my ribs. So I was right in the middle, like basically taking a 6-week break from all physical activity. I didn't even move for 6 weeks. So all I did was train for 6 weeks, took basically a 6-week break from all physical activity, and then did about 4 weeks of really hard training near the end, not really following any super strict schedule, just whatever I felt I needed to feel confident for the event. And that got me a 6 hour and 16-minute finish. So anyone out there that really wants to do a half Ironman, go for it. Literally, you do not need to train as much as I ever expected to even compete. Like, if you want to finish, you could probably do way less training than I did, which is super crazy. Turns out that it was a huge mental game versus the physical part. As long as you're reasonably fit, I think you have a very good chance of at least finishing the event, since the cutoff is 8 hours and 30 minutes. Now, that is not to say that you're gonna have a fantastic time and you probably will hate yourself, but it took much less training than I had honestly expected for a half Ironman, which was pretty cool, but really cool, really interesting. And so that's the end of the journey, and that's it. Not sure what I'm gonna do next yet. I was thinking about doing the full Ironman. I don't think I will. Honestly, I think I've had enough with endurance sports for a while. I know a lot of people say you're gonna get addicted. I'm not super addicted, let me tell you. So I know people say that it gets addicting after you do it once, but let me tell you, I'm honestly not that huge of a fan. Although it is fun to compete, and it is fun to just see all these people support you and go through this journey and see yourself improve, I don't really know if I'm a super huge fan of just constantly doing an activity for hours on end. Like, biking's fun, running's fun, but doing it for multiple hours constantly, it gets a little messy, you just keep on doing the same thing, and it's really a huge mental game versus more of a technical activity. And so I think I'm going to move on more to technical things in the future and do some series on that, some series on surfing, maybe some BMXing videos. We'll see. I got lots of activities that I'm really excited to share, and we'll see what's going on. But all in all, I guess it's for some people. For me, I think endurance isn't quite what I love doing, and so I'm gonna put the endurance events on hold for a while. We'll see if we revisit them at some point. For now, I think the half Ironman will be kind of the marker to end off on, the place that I will stop for this endurance sports and move on to something else. But all in all, interesting journey. Super awesome that I got to finish this. I also wanted to point out that I actually did the swim in a surfing wetsuit. So it was a 4-3, meaning it was 4 millimeters thick at the top, 3 millimeters thick at the bottom where your feet are, or your legs. And it felt great. Didn't really feel restricted on the arms at all. Was floating everywhere. Felt way better than swimming without the wetsuit. So anyone out there thinking of doing it in a surfing wetsuit, would highly recommend. Also did the whole bike ride on just a regular road bike, no aero bars, just a road bike. Honestly, felt totally fine. Had no huge issues with it at all. Sure, the aero position would feel more comfortable. Not saying not to do it, but if you're worried about using a road bike, fear not, it is totally fine. And running, did it all in my Vibram 5 Fingers Road Runners, and it was a full trail running course. There was rocks, bumps everywhere, and I still did a Road Runners. Felt totally okay, a little bumpy, but honestly, still totally fine. So all I'm trying to say is that if you have any fear that your gear might not be good enough or some of your equipment, honestly, you'll be fine. If you're just going to finish, if you're just trying to even do pretty well, get under 6 hours, I'm sure you can do it with any gear. Probably under 5 hours you can probably do with any gear. It's only when you're trying to aim for super, super good times that I think the gear is going to be a huge problem. This is me speaking with minimal training and minimal effort on the gear, and I think it was totally fine. So fear not, just give it a go. It's all about the effort and the dedication.